Hello and welcome to the Citizens Network Gambia. We are sorry because we have some technical problems. That's why we are a bit late. But thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Kamaso. Once again, it's a pleasure for having you here on board. And today we just want to go into details about the upcoming AFCON, and we understand that you are part of the organizing committee. So before going further, or in fact, we just go into details. So what I want to know is, I know you've been doing very busy going on with your campaign and trying to get some funds. How far have you gone? What are the latest? The last time we spoke, I think you told us about 9 million. What are the latest now?
Thank you very much, Modu. It's always a pleasure to be on the Citizens Gambia Network. As usual, all of you people are doing the best you can in order to help us amplify this fundraising campaign. We can't do much other than just to say thank you and extend our profound appreciation to all of you for playing your own quota to make sure we achieve success in what we are yearning for. Yes, the National Coordinating Committee, of which I am a member and Vice Chairman of the Logistics Committee, still continues with the fundraising drive that we had embarked on. So far, we're heading towards the 11 million mark because when we spoke last time, we were around 9 million, just above 9 million, think about 9.7. We were able to cross over the 10 million mark, and now we're heading towards the 11 million because there were new contributions from places like Insurance Association of the Gambia, like the National Youth Service Scheme and other, business entities that I don't have record of. But, the members of the cabinet also were making their own contribution at cabinet level. I was told they were tasked to do their own contributions and they were coming in with their own pledges. Some had actually started depositing their monies into the account. So yes, right now we are targeting the 11 million because the other fundraising drive campaign we did at the Teleton on Thursday at GRTS the last time raised about $140,000. So we're not doing as good as we were expecting, but we're also not doing very, very badly considering the circumstances. But hats off to government for doing a very good job for pre-financing and paying most of the things that we were expecting to pay from the funds that we're going to be raised. Because as you already know, the team is leaving for Qatar. Hopefully by Monday. Hotels have to be paid, their camping allowances, match bonuses, and air tickets and so on. So those things are being pre-financed at government level for now. And then there's a charter flight that's going to pick the boys from Doha to fly them to Banjul, then from Banjul where they can collect the battle flag from His Excellency at the presidency, where we are expecting to throw a dinner them and then a befitting farewell so that they can go to Cameroon.
Okay, thanks. So the monies that you're looking at now, and does it also involve this camp? Does it is it the whole package? Does it start from the camp going into Qatar and then to the AFCON, or is it just purposely for the AFCON?
Certainly, no. The whole amount we were looking for was for the whole campaign. I mean, if you look at the camping that was done, the training camp that was done in Dubai was pre-financed by government. All of this was included in it because it was the AFCON fundraising campaign. And the AFCON fundraising campaign obviously includes all the training camps before, that's pre-AFCON. So
Yeah.
even this training camp in Qatar is included. Okay, so
Yeah.
this pre-AFCON training camp in Qatar is included. That's why we call it the pre-AFCON, because the way we had wanted it initially was for them to come here, collect the flag, and have a befitting farewell, then fly to Qatar, and then from Qatar straight to Cameroon. But with the way the plans are coming through, and the clubs, the national teams that we were able to engage to play with them, the schedule didn't come out as we expected. So they're having to fly to Qatar, do their training camp there, play their first game on the 1st with Algeria, play their second game with Syria on the 5th, then fly from Syria to Banjul and arrive here the morning of the 6th. We're hoping they can do, like an exhibition training, the evening of the 6th, then do the dinner. And then the 7th, that's the morning, we can do a national day of prayer because it's a Friday, have a befitting farewell, then they can go to. But yes, the amount you're talking about includes this pre-AFCON training camp as well.
Okay. Can you just also remind our viewers how can they contribute? Like how can they donate if they want to donate? Because I think Musa went through it the last time, but it wasn't very clear. I know you've got you've got the telethon that you normally have on GRTS. What other means can people contribute towards this cause?
Yes, certainly. What happened is the NCC has two separate bank accounts. We have one with Trust Bank Limited. We have one with EcoBank. The EcoBank one actually has a dollar and a Dalasi account. So if you walk into any of these banks, EcoBank or Trust Bank, because there are two banks that are all over the country. You walk into any of them and say you have money to donate into the NCC account, they'll give you the account number and you can donate. They'll give you your deposit slip. I mean, when I go through the bank statement, sometimes you see people are, oh, these people have actually donated. So there are people who have quietly put in their monies and they haven't said anything. But aside of the Trust Bank and EcoBank account, you could use your Afri money. The Afri money is 2888288. That works for AfriCell. But then you could also use your phone and call 2888. Anytime you call, the operator will tell you you've donated $5 to the national team towards the AFCON. Now, even if you can't call, you can just text. Just open your phone and text anything 2888. It takes $5 from you. So you could do this as many times as possible. Again, you could also go to the National Sports Council at the stadium. Like anytime there's a match, we all go there. People will tell you, oh, I cannot go to the stadium. But when there are matches, people will go there because, it's all part of patriotism. So anybody could just walk to the National Sports Council and hand in your money. Because what we are trying to do, we're trying to ensure that there's a proper accountability framework here. We're not trying to do this all over the place. People will tell you, oh, you should have boxes here. When we were going to Peru, we had boxes in the market and things like that. But with all the noise around, you want to make sure these things are collected in a manner that tomorrow the accountability would be very, clear for everybody to see. So those things are the things that we're trying to do. We've also written to the regional area councils and the governors to ask them to collect funds at their level. Okay? Anybody who wants, if you're in Mansakonko or you're in Basse or wherever, the area councils are also collecting because they are district chairpersons in those areas. They'll collect the monies. On the day of the dinner that we're doing at the State House, they'll bring these monies and then we can determine each and every area council has actually raised A, B, and C. So we have all these areas that people can actually donate their monies and so that it can get to the level of the NCC. But then again, every Thursday, we also do this telethon where people can call in and say how much they want to donate. Their numbers will be taken and we can follow up on them to be able to have their monies from us. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Coach, welcome, Habib. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. I just I'll be with you very soon. I just want to round up with Mr. Kamaso some of these issues. Yeah. So Mr. Kamaso, I know you've also said you've went to Cameroon to check the ground, what's going on. What are the latest on that aspect as well? What is going on? Obviously you've not managed to get the money yet, or you still a long way to go, and we've got only maybe 2 weeks. So what are the latest on that in terms of hotels, in terms of and the other aspect is, what is the role of the GFF, in all these things? Because it seems like, I know there is an organizing committee responsible for all these things, but what is their role? And then what is the latest on at Cameroon?
Okay, I think I'll answer the last question first. It's the second to last. What's the role of the GFF? I mean, GFF is the body mandated to run football. So our role as GFF is more of the technical aspect. But the NCC, the way the NCC is composed, it's composed of people from different areas. You have people from the business community, you have people from the GFF, because the president of the GFF is the vice chairman of the NCC. The Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports is the chairman. You have the Finance and Fundraising Committee chairman, Idimas Job, who's the president of the Gambia Chamber of Commerce. You have the Deputy Permanent Secretary from Finance and Economic Affairs. You have a member of staff from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You have somebody from Joint Operation Command. So we have people from diverse backgrounds, okay? And the role of the GFF, because if you look at the technical committee of the NCC, is manned by GFF personnel, because they are the ones that can handle. And Ibu Faye, who's the second vice president, is the chairman. So what they do normally, they come with their technical training programs, their plans of activities, and then the NCC looks at it, and then we can adjust here and there and ensure that the finances are provided. So the role of GFF, because the NCC is composed of all these people, we bring everything on the table and then we look at it holistically and then make decisions. So it's not like people are working unilaterally here and there. Okay, when it comes to Cameroon, as I said the last time, we've secured all the hotels we wanted. As a matter of fact, one of the hotels, which is Atlantic Beach Hotel in Limbe, which is one of the top class hotels, we've already paid an advance, and that hotel is secured. It has 62 rooms, and all those 62 rooms have been earmarked and saved for the Gambia. So that is where the Gambians are going to be. We have two other hotels, which is Holiday Inn and Newtown Palace Hotel. Those two hotels too have been secured, and we had to write to them because initially we had planned to take 300 people. But when we realized that the funds were not coming through as we had expected, we had to write to them to say we were cutting the numbers, although they were disappointed, but they accepted. So those hotels are still there. Now, the most recent arrangements we had to make was the issues of COVID test, because I was tasked to make inquiries about COVID tests, because anyone entering these matches must show proof of vaccination, and you must have a COVID negative PCR test that is 72 hours, less than 72 hours, or a negative antigen test that is less than 24 hours. So this we have also written to a few clinics there who have been, how would I say, who are earmarked to do these, and we've gotten quotations for those things. Now we are working on securing the tickets, because CAF had sent a communique regarding that, and every team or every nation must ensure you purchase the tickets you need before the 31st of December. We have also started working on that, because we are giving complimentary tickets, about 32 to VVIPs and 30 category 1 tickets. So the rest of the other people, some of them are journalists, they have accreditation, so obviously they would not need to buy tickets. So the rest of the people are the ones we need to buy tickets for, and we are working on securing those. Hopefully by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we would have done that.
Okay. Do you still have plans to take funds as well?
Certainly, yes. In fact, we met members of the Scorpions Fans Club as the logistics committee, as vice chair of the logistics committee, together with my chairman and other members of the logistics committee, Chairman TPS Mike of Ministry of Youth and Sports. He's the chairman of the logistics committee. We met the Scorpions Fans Club, their executive actually. We had a very fruitful discussions with them, and they were happy that 50 people were being taken from their fans club to Cameroon, because they were trying other avenues in order to raise funds, but most of them proved futile. And they appreciated the gesture, and they wanted to do the best they can, because they gave us their approval, their assurance that they'll go there and make the necessary noise. So we've told them that we're going to provide them free transportation, free accommodation, as well as free food whilst they're there. So this is also done, and we've asked them to identify those who are supposed to go, so they can go and get all the necessary documents, because we do not want to have a situation where somebody comes with an expired passport, or somebody comes all the way at the airport and starts saying, oh, my vaccination card is expired, when there are people who can come in. So we've given them all the criteria and the guidelines of people that can come in, so that they can go and look at these things and make sure they fix them to make it a smooth transport, to a smooth flight to Cameroon, and then they can also enter the stadiums, in a very orderly manner.
Okay, because I was just worried about the selection criteria for fans, because I was thinking probably you might just be randomly selecting people, because then that wouldn't make any impact. So, but thank God that you're looking at the Scorpions Fans Club, because it is important for the players to understand that to know that they've got people supporting them, because there is no point in having fans there who are not going to make any impact, because football is all about having that impact, especially players. They want to hear people drumming or supporting, rather than just taking, in other words, the sandwich brigade, where people just sit there and not do anything. But that's very good. So the other thing is, I know we've talked about this just quickly. You've got critics who would always still be going on about the lack of euphoria, the lack of, like, I've spoken to a few people, obviously, and you had people saying, okay, this African Cup of Nations is very weird. Like, although people will argue that it came at the wrong time, but this actually is the biggest tournament that we've ever been, especially Gambia. And that being the case, you would like to think that the euphoria at home should be bigger than ever, but it seems as there is nothing going on. Like, and hence it is actually showing from your telethon, and it's like people are not contributing enough. Why do you think this is? What is your take on it?
Well, with all due respect, I think sometimes it could be emotions, it could be sentimental, it could be maybe people view certain things certain ways, because sometimes people would see it as maybe this is for the GFF, or we do not have faith in these people, or things of that nature. Because for me, what I keep saying is this is the national team. Like, my role, or the role of the honorable minister, or the role of the president of GFF, or the role of the DPS, or the role of anybody in the NCC is volunteering. We are all volunteering, like Musa Sise, myself, and the others. Okay, we keep talking about we've not been able to raise the funds, but we've gone to different radio stations, we've gone to different TV stations. We're on GRTS every Monday, we're on GRTS every Thursday, we're on Star TV every Saturday, we're on Paradise TV every Thursday. iAfrica, you cannot miss it. Sometimes they even replay this. Okay, sometimes we can have divergent views and divergent sentiments, but then when it comes to something that is national, I think we should try and put some of those aside just to ensure it works. I may not be happy with certain things, but when it comes to the national team, I just don't joke about it. Okay, we've done the best we can. We've tried to drum up support. Like myself, I will drive my car daily. We will go around following up on letters to ensure that people have donated. But you cannot force people to give you these monies. Okay, and the business communities, what we've done is to write to them, to explain to them this is what has happened. But it seems as well as in Gambia too, people don't easily part with their monies when it comes to sponsorship. I'm sure that will change as time goes on. Although some people who are in football will understand these dynamics, but then if you look at it, a lot of the people will do more of the talking than more of the actions. Okay, people will complain the football is not working, this is not happening, but there are other areas that we can hold on to. There are other areas we can push on to make these things work. I was on Sports File last Monday with Peter Gomez, and he said, I don't think you guys should have even paid for fans, because fans are fans. They are supposed to fund their trip. But we are doing all of these things to make it work because we understand the circumstances, the situation we are in. So sometimes people will critique. I'm not going to say people will criticize. People will critique. But then when it comes to the contribution, this is for the nation. It is for the nation. We will have divergent, but at the end of the day, this is Gambia. It doesn't matter who is there, who's running it, who's doing this. But if we do the needful, we can. We've been saying this. We've challenged people to have the national flag all over, wherever you go. We've challenged the artists to come up with a group song. We've challenged the journalists to amplify this, to blow this up. But then, that's the best you could do. The NCC is mandated to work on this, but everybody cannot be on the NCC. And it is human to err. If we are making mistakes, we also expect people to come to say, we believe you could do A, B, and C, and then we could do that. But, there's a limit to what people can do. Maybe we are not doing things the right way too from other people's, point of view. But then again, all we are yearning for is to ensure that things work in the right manner so that we can achieve the success when we go to the AFCON and make a big name. What we want is, by the time the government comes back from AFCON, most of our players are being signed in bigger leagues, so that anytime we are playing our qualifiers, people know Gambia is coming.
Okay, thank you. So on a final note, I know you've said about the team preparing to go to Qatar. Can we have any dates when they are playing? Because information seems to be a very hard thing to get from Gambia nowadays, especially on the footballing side. What days? If you can just tell us when is the Gambia playing Syria and what time is the Gambia playing? I guess we're playing. Is it what's the name again? Is it Syria and
I did say that. I said we are playing Algeria in my opening.
Algeria and Syria, yeah.
We're playing Algeria on the 1st and playing Syria on the 5th. Unfortunately, I'm not the head of the media, but the technical team, for what they said is 8. Because usually in these Gulf countries they play from 8 o'clock. So both of the matches are from 8. Both matches are at 8 o'clock. Because I remember even when we were in Dubai, we played the match at 8. But the games are from the first is Algeria, Gambia versus Algeria, and the fifth is Gambia versus Syria. Then right after the game, they're flying back to the Gambia. But if you need any info, like I said, you can reach out to Musa. He's a spokesperson because he's the head of the media committee, and he should be able to provide all the information, the necessary information. Even if he doesn't have it, he can get a hold of the technical team, and then they can give him the information. Because with these training camps too, sometimes the game times change here and there because there are agents who organize them. It's not, so from what I understand is the games are all being played around 8 o'clock,
8 o'clock.
which is around 5 o'clock in Gambia because they're 3 hours ahead. But the first game is on the first, and the
Yeah.
second game is on the fifth. Yeah.
Okay. So
The team
finally,
leaves
what?
on
Yeah.
they leave here on the 27th,
Yeah.
and they play their first game on the first, play the second game on the 5th.
Okay. So finally, what would you say to Gambians, especially people who have their doubts about the organizing committee, and what is going to happen now in case these monies is not met? What is the fallback plan now in case there is no chance of getting the 120 million pounds, million dollars? Sorry. What are the do you have any backup plans for that?
I wish it was pounds, though. I really wish it was pounds.
sorry, I'm used to say that.
Yeah, but all the same, if you look at, I was reading the other day, Ivory Coast has a budget of $8.1 million, and they're taking the same number of people, the same, and they are not even catering for fans. It's $8.1 million just for the team. Okay, where ours is just about $2.4 million, I would say, and that takes care of the team and even the fans we're taking along. So, I mean, what I can tell the people who have these, as you say, I'm not sure whether I would say people have doubts about the NCC. Maybe it's just for them to complement the efforts of the NCC and also help us amplify. So I don't think there are doubts. People have doubts about the NCC because there are people of high esteem in the NCC. It's just that people have other ideas and they feel the NCC could have done same, or they could have done A, B, and C to help them gather these funds. And we believe that instead of using the social media platforms, they can reach out to any of us to say, we believe you can try A, B, and C. As I said, it's human to err. And we are not a repository of knowledge and wisdom. It's not like we have all the knowledge and wisdom in the world, okay? We're just there, people believe in us, and we're doing what we can. So anybody has ideas, you can bring them forward. I see the likes of Coach Sana, Musa Habibi. These are people who are always into football. And we know the contributions that they make because these are people who speak their minds. So in times of these, like they would do, some people would rather sit in their corners and say, and start murmuring. But when you have these things, you bring them so people know this is what is actually around town. We can take them up and see how we can fix them. And when people bring ideas, we also want to use them and see how they work, because ideas don't just come and then we implement them. We look at the ideas, we think outside the box and look at what are the other areas. Now, coming back to the fallback position, as I said earlier, government has already started taking up responsibilities of funding this. So the fallback position was already there. Like I said, the Dubai trip is being funded. Okay, the Dubai trip was already funded. The Qatar trip is also being funded. Some people will say, why are you going there? Why are you not playing? Because it is where most of these teams go, where you can easily get a training camp. We know Ghana is going there, Algeria is going there, Syria is going there. So when you talk to these agents, they also look at where you can get good competition. And because the coach wanted to play Arab nations, because we were playing Tunis, so that was the reason why Algeria came into play. So getting the second team, they worked on, and then eventually they were able to get. But I can assure you, I personally spoke to Bill Chato, the general coordinator of all the national teams. But he was telling me they can only play us on the third, and they would expect us in Cameroon, which was impossible. We were trying to play Guinea, we were trying to play Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, but the arrangements were not going through because we were trying to get strong opponents to be able to get that. That is why we're here. But rest assured, government has already taken up responsibility of this, and they've already started disposing funds. They've started releasing the funds. That's why we were able to make deposits in Limbe to secure the hotel and the flights. We've already chartered 2 separate flights, one that will take the players and one that will take the rest of the contingent. The players are leaving here on the 7th when they come from Qatar. By then, they would have received the battle flag from His Excellency, and the dinner would have been done. Then we can do a befitting farewell and they can go. Then the whole contingent will leave here on the 10th, inshallah, because our first game is on the 12th. So by the time they get there, myself and some members of the logistics committee would have been on the ground because the hotels would have been sorted. The local transport is also taken care of, so we can ensure all the funds travel from Douala to Limbe, which is about 2 hours. So we're making sure all these things are in place. But rest assured that government has already, dug deep and they've started funding these things. So if the funds come, they will just replace them wherever they must have taken them from.
Yeah, thank you very much. Musa, Coach, does anyone have anything to add on to that, or just any question to ask Mr. Kamaso before he leaves? If not, we can just carry on ourselves.
These are the things we like to see. We like to see our authorities to come forward and explain to us what's happening. The moment they did that, life is good. The only problem people are having from the outside, like from the rules, from the campus, is sitting on information. The moment you come and explain to yourself, we are good to go. There are different factors affecting our campaign. For me, the only thing I was talking about was I think we should have done this long time ago, like 4, 5, or maybe 6 months ago, knowing that the Gambia is going to the AFCON. So apart from that, people have their reasons for not coming forward. People like myself have been going to different places, this route and campus. They will speak their mind and so. But as far as what Mr. Kamos has explained, he has really spoken well, to be honest. I am somebody that if I feel that he got things, I have different opinion, I will say it, But he has been very direct in his deliberations, and going forward, I think it's really close to AFCON. So as a country, we are just hoping that everything goes well. But apart from that, my only omission was we should have started this campaign long time ago. It would have saved us time, For now, I don't know how they're gonna go about it if they have all the funds available. But Mr. Kamaso has spoken really well. So
yeah,
for me, that's my take for now.
Yeah, Baba, welcome, Coach. Yeah, Coach, do you have anything to say?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you very much, and it's good to be here with Sadibu Bademba and ever present Abib. I just have this opportunity, so I want to ask Sadibu one question. This after the qualification of the team to the AFCON. We all knew what was ahead, and then the political situation in the country wasn't very conducive, and people that are responsible, like the executive, are busy, trying to work on their political grounds and stuff. We understand that, and to me, people like me, Abib, this wasn't a surprise to us that we'll be working very hard to attain our goals. But one thing I want, I need answers on. This should have been a national call, and I think the government or the organizing committee to use the CNC, why can't they use the different GSM operators, like businessmen like Willie Abraham, Mohammed Jah, and other people that has big businesses in the country, and use them as the face of raising the fund for this AFCON? Because we've seen official, it's the only one coming up, and there are reports going around saying other companies has came up, but because they were not in good time with official, and then they were not given the opportunity to also play a part. And I want you to shed light on this. Like Abib said, it's always a problem for us to get informations, and it is the only thing that's going to make us feel better and feel comfortable is when we can have someone like you, Ibofai, to come out and tell us, because Gambia is it's a very small country. All right. Why is it that other companies are not on board? Why only official?
Okay, that's a question I'd really love to answer. First of all, the issue about AfriCell being there does not mean AfriCell was just given exclusivity as people may assume. Okay, what happened was when the Gambia qualified, the Gambia Football Federation, from my understanding, had created a group to set up this AFCON coordinating committee. But then government also looked at it and realized that this is bigger than just the GFF. It has to be a national thing, not just confined within the GFF. That was why the government came on board and ensured that all these other people are on board. As I said, the chairman of the NCC is the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports. You have Kaba Bajo, the president of GFF, as the vice chairman. You have 3 DPSs. You have DPS Finance and Economic Affairs, 2 DPSs from Youth and Sports, all part of it. A staff member from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, somebody from Joint Operation Command. The chairman of the Finance and Fundraising is the president of the Gambia Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Idimas Joe. You know, we have the likes of Fatu Kamara of Fatu Network, Fatu Cisse, you know, of Immediate Finance. We have all these people there. What we did was, when the NCC was inaugurated on behalf of the president by the vice president, AfriCell was the first company that came and said, we have a proposal. Even before the NCC started going out to secure funds, even before we started doing anything, AfriCell came on board and said, we have a proposal for you, and this is it. We will give you 8 million in cash. We will throw you a fundraising gala. We will give you this number of billboards. We will give you access to our SMS platform so people can text, so you can raise monies and things of that sort. Okay. When we looked at the NCC level, we said we cannot just close it to AfriCell. We cannot just give AfriCell exclusivity like that. We will open it to other people. There was even a time that AfriCell was approved and we almost changed it again. Okay, we let it open and then QCell was given the opportunity to come in. But when they came in, the way they submitted their quotation was exactly, for me, exactly like what AfriCell provided. It's like QCell had access to what AfriCell was providing. So in case, for instance, if AfriCell is providing 8 million, QCell says we'll give you 10. If AfriCell is providing 20 billboards, QCell will say we'll give you this. And for me, I mean, those were the things. We looked at it and there were things we realized that AfriCell was more responsive and they've been there for sports for such a long time. We were not just looking for a company that would just come this time around and not come again. So there were different issues we were looking at. And we've written to all these other institutions. It's not like AfriCell was just given exclusivity. I personally have driven to almost 36 places with my team, the likes of Musa Sise and other guys, to ensure that people donate. So it's not like it was just, you know, given to AfriCell like that. There are a lot of institutions we wrote to. Comium at the time had their issues and they couldn't have come in. Gamcell, we understand, had financial issues, okay, or maybe they are budgeting. So
yeah, I think
Yes,
I think. Come on, so. Yeah, Baba, in the matter. Okay. So yeah, so let's just go into what our own discussions about the footballing side of it.
Excuse me. Do you have any device? Do you have any device that is on, because it's echoing?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't have any device, to be honest. It's just my phone on. Is it still doing the same?
It's okay, I think, for now.
It's okay.
Yeah, for me as well. It's okay.
Yeah, Baba, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm saying hi, you know, to everyone, you know.
Man, how you
doing? Good, not too bad, bro.
Good.
Oh, Baba, Abenyari.
Alhamdulillah, I'm cool, man. Sana, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. So Baba, we start from you with this. Obviously, AFCON Betahauna. For the past couple of months or whatever, start.
Why don't all of Mangalaka must
Well,
man ma jël soose Hatim jël olof bi man ma jël soose bi am racist anyway.
Mom dapat taga. Okay.
Habib yo jël yo yaay faana bi yo nga jël olof bi man ma jël soose bi.
Okay, Wolam Pama, it's good. This has a balance. Okay.
Sana Yapa can speak both Mandinka and Wolof. So Sana is very flexible.
Yeah, so Janim Bastard, and after Minna, I want your opinion on these European clubs all Minna, I think the whole of Europe actually, including FIFA and TFA. You know, the way they are trying to come in even African Cup of Nations or especially now. Just yesterday I read a piece from the Daily Mail. Cameroon, calling Cameroon like it's more like a war-torn country. Yeah, some of the stuff that they are saying and then trying to release players very late. Do you think African teams all should accept that? Oh, Kamaso is back. Well, Baba, Kamaso, I abang.
Okay, all right. No worries.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay, coming back to that. So as I was saying, and what we did.
Oh, Kamaso again. Yeah. Oh.
It's breaking, you know.
Yeah, it's breaking.
Is he in Gambia?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
It's too much dust. Those antennas is too much dust in there, you know. So
okay, Baba, you continue.
Yeah, first of all, viewers, all I'm saying.
No, come another bank.
Okay.
Come on, your internet.
Yeah, so now continue. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's not like it was just limited to AfriCell, but there were certain things in place, and we had to ensure that we looked for something that is in the best interest of the country. So it was not a case of us just selecting AfriCell and not going to these other institutions. As I said, the chairman of the finance and fundraising is Mr. Idimas Job. Of late, we're getting more people donating, more institutions donating, you know, because some of them may have had their attentions diverted towards the election. But like now, we know more institutions are donating. Like Insurance Association of the Gambia last week donated 100,000. I was told today Gambia Port Authority is chipping in 500,000. Okay, so all these are institutions that we have already written to. There were letters that were sent to all these institutions. I can remember myself trying to some businesses, you know, asking for the MDs or whoever's responsible, and sometimes they'll tell you, oh, we have not received the letter, or we've seen the letter, we're still looking at it, or some of them we have to revert back to our head offices. We've tried. So it's not like we would just focus on AfriCell and give it to AfriCell. No, we did the best we could to ensure that the best companies that, you know, gave the amount needed were taken. Now, if you look at AfriCell, what they did was they gave 8 million. And in that case, they were supposed to be like an exclusive partner for the GSM. So what we did was it was sort of a competition. Whoever comes out, you know, can win. We even said, let them all come out with their final bids. Let us see who comes out with the best offer. At the end of the day, theirs was most responsive, and we went with AfriCell. So it was not a case where, you know, we just had to be biased towards AfriCell. And again, coming to what Coach Sana said, when it comes to information, yes, the GFF has a communications director who's the spokesperson of the GFF. But like you said, the likes of Ibufai or us, anytime we are given the mandate to speak, we will talk to people and ensure, because I'm not camera shy, we can talk to people and clear. Like Musa Habibi Fall said, it is always important to communicate with the stakeholders, because if there's that communication blackout, then you create doubts in the minds of the people. So it is always pertinent. It's always important that people are fed with information. For me, this information is key. Anytime we do certain things and the information is out there, it brings us closer to the stakeholders, because the football cannot work without the stakeholders. We cannot go and run an empty stadium without the stakeholders coming in. So that is the case, Coach Sana. It's not like we just gave AfriCell exclusivity like that. We had written to over 30-something companies, and very few of them were forthcoming. But now that we're doing this, most of them are coming. And in fact, we have a dinner at the State House on the 6th, and most of them are coming forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamaso. We hope that everything go well. And to be honest, we must commend you because you are one of those who will always come and face whosoever asks you to come, and that is commendable. That is really, really good. And thanks again. It was a pleasure having you on board, and hopefully we probably would have you one more time before you guys leave. And good luck with it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Kamaso.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes, Baba. Baba, I forgot.
Yeah.
Sako ila team of I think they are the mastermind of all these things. Liverpool themselves.
Yeah, but first of all, Tubable, they always go with their interest. It's all African or us Africans. I think we not Tubable ne solo too much. We I mean modern slavery, Jamano can always People are long for the. If you go to Africa, like right now, it's a Jida airport. Yeah, it's as a Gambian, it's a Gambian airport or any African airport. Yeah, any European or Jida, the same flight. A Jibe, right? How they're gonna treat you, and then how they're gonna treat what European or Minnesota. So to only actually control for respect, for value, say mental value anymore. You get me?
Yeah.
For the airport, Gambian was a Gambian for the airport, the way they're gonna treat me, and the way but Wabo treat Lanyaming is gonna be it's gonna be totally different. And boy, I'm a citizen of that country. Man, they understand. Ntanara nan Tuabo Naranang, let's Wabo Mutalbo treat like Allah. Then as a citizen, Alba Fente even in a Jola, Danga Fairly, to Fairly Doduga, Danga Defli, Sabag, telephone bill and coffee, yet telephone bill and coffee. Tuabo, even if it comes with 10 telephones, Ibabla like him. So the attitude we told as an African, the attitude or the mentality, if now might change, this European it have respect. Okay, this is our African Cup of Nations. It doesn't matter what happened or Munebakela. It's all they have their Europa, they have World Cup, and they make sure and it will go ahead. So why us having this African nation, alone joining African Cup of Nations team? So what I'm going to tell you, Niaje Tuabo Bantoli Yapla, Atina, because Emmanuel Kaje Nyato, Manvega understand. Ni what I think Hanyita call for, because this is our World Cup. So when I was 12% saying total it will last forward day by or they're talking about all different kind of things towards African. It's because until African was involved, bukan for respect or man belittle when it comes to being mole boy. Understand? So obviously these people they will always treat us like this. Because until boy until I mean about a slavery economy, but I boy back on the street. So until the phone yantaka loom for a boy, then Twabole Horoma, then we do. African Cup of Nation boy, that's all we got. So why Twabole be about front to left Yantaka Muneke Yantaka? What I love Mugabe man. Because Twabu Muga fire Yantaka Minka Alaxati boy. Twabuga fire Yantaka Yami. Twamya Mama, Ya fire Bakalanyari. No. And it's true. Because it's as an African, in the first way, they won't even listen to you. So why we have to? This African combination, we have to stand and make sure it happens and it go ahead. Coronavirus is happening here. We know when Europa was when they were playing Europa, it was a pandemic. It was serious than this one, but it a place man. They went ahead and do it. So why would they have to come and stand between us and our African Cup of Nations, our World Cup either? Because they won't another World Cup ultimately. No chance, man. We shouldn't allow that. Until opinion on us, I think neko atata another and told that not to yep. Man, they got that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, in case any filter either for any filter that Senegal or anywhere, if a dinner table or if a chop kang, ya jibe, but wabo staff la nyaming, and it's a move to a base staff la nyaming, base trees la nyaming, boy.
Yeah.
It's totally different. So what one can tell you, boy? Because boy, if the Africa boy, he can treat Kofonko boy.
Yeah.
So it's only at the Tuabol and yap. It's only at the Tuabol and yap. So a new woman change. always all the time. So let them change. Let the African change the mentality. Let us have this Mugabe attitude. But let's talk about it. It's the reality. Boy, yalla boy, nulu be mun tolla tongol lati boy, nulu mil be jan tuwa du boy, tolla tam, fal mamal mumul boy, wala tam. So yalla like, but let's just economy follow like, let's respect ourselves, and then people will respect us. If we don't respect ourselves, yeah, this Bible is a respect man. Trust me, mate. You can respect like.
Yeah. Coach, yeah, fans or jele because ni ajube tournament toning, they throughout Kabrin Lota, they were doing all this propaganda forecast stuff. And then ajube, it all what they are blaming it on is the virus onying, COVID cases all being rise. But in ajube jang fango, England fango la cases all dama, UK la cases all dama, wale si atansa for most parts of Africa. And Euro final or played again, and then they went on with it, and still now stadium all people are still going to football games. I went to Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago, and it was still full stadium. Exactly, it definitely were there, but but for some reason it don't have control. No, and Tefe, what do you think? What do you think should we do? Because if you I just think the leadership is very important because football association or the lead can. I think number one, those are the problems. Because if you look at Eto Ntengamoele, he came out and he spoke very well. And Eto is a prime example of coming a leadership need. Because if you are dealing with them, you have to stand firm. If not, they will just walk on you. What's your thoughts on all that, Coach?
Yeah, first of all, I was like a little bit disappointed that it was even like a topic of discussion because AFCON is all we got. It's it's the biggest competition in Africa.
Yeah.
And growing up as a kid, you wanted to represent your country. In AFCON, you want to represent your country as a player or as a coach or as an administrator. So these are things that it's so important to us, in as much as their Euros and their Nations Cup, and their I don't know for the Nation Cup or is important to them. So obviously, why are they focusing on Africa? Simply because they're looking into their own interests. It's been just the bottom line is their selfish interest. And I think what you said, I will agree with it. It is high time for Africans to man up and take our own responsibilities and try to make our stand very, very firm. Because if not, Tubabol, they will always try to have the last say as far as Africa is concerned in anything you think of. It is up to us, and then to show them that, hey, you know what, we can do this by ourselves, and we're going to stand. We're going to respect the principles we had. We're going to respect our cup of nation because it's a tradition, and we will make sure that it stays the time we want to do it. Not you dictating us to do it the time you want us to do it. And I think people like Eto, like you said, hopefully people can look at Eto's statement, and learn from it. That is like our federation leaders, not only Cameroon, but it has to be something that has to be a movement. It has to be a movement to make sure that the Europeans respect African, our plan, our Nations Cup, the way we respect their, their competition. But it will come down to one thing: the big clubs thinks that they pay the wages of players, and they put a lot of insurances on the players, so they actually have a bigger say on the players than the African continent. But notwithstanding, these are countries, these are players that are from countries, and they came from a country. That's why they are raised in a proper way. That's why they are able to compete at that level. But coming Baba Yafanyami, I'll agree with him. We have to respect ourselves. Once we respect ourselves, and then we show them that we respect ourselves, that's the time they will respect us. But Ninka Dobe the way normal, the trend will continue, and it is not good for African football.
Yeah, no, thank you. So most so come the same topic but legi nanga so by health tamit guy they are for man luta some I'm a bit worried about all these things, and people don't seems to be worried more. Manama Fognini, if they can just do away with African Cup of Nations, soon ame plan bobo no, they will do it. Because so by health plan so guy they were more to move the African Cup of Nations in the summer every 2 years. When they buy health the Euro sit every 2 years la tenyom them in the summer la. And that means nyari tournament is soon class there is only one winner. I'm gonna Europe new with. Nyun mom they yeah, nyun don't li. But pare legi there is another rumor. They are saying the World Cup obviously you can try for Indico every 2 years again, which is still not topic of discussion. One time, in my opinion, there is a reason behind it, because Nyom Sen Sagosun ko ame African Cup is non-existent. Suggest this silod. Yangi mute.
Liep is about us. Africans should always come together and put our interests first, because they will always put themselves in the front line. Respecting you. Man, not so much respect. It's not a problem, but I'll give you back the same. Man, non lamel. So my respect, la. So my respect, my respect. I'm a little bit disappointed with some of our top players around Europe. I was expecting some very, very strong messages coming out from these top players, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah. You know, man, if this was in the era of Didier Drogba, Nyom Adebayo, Nyom Elas, Ndokondanga some very, very, very straightforward messages you have then send forward. Send teams we are going to AFCON, no matter what. But this kind of messages, man, from players you have, they are just good players. Send voice is not as powerful as Aubameyang, Hamga, or Sadio Mane. No, I was expecting these players to lead the campaign. You send platforms, Hamga, when hey, you know, you guys have your own tournaments. Then you respect. Back home in Africa, if I talk the follow the Europe, Africa got only one tournament. You get tough in and postpone it. Corona, hey, this Corona, you're not concerned. We never play in our continent, right? No, I'm Corona, but they are still playing football. So I think the fight should start from the top. When they have the bigger frequencies. Send voice more than sorry. Man, for Sadio Mane would have come or Mohamed Salah and talk about it. But these guys are just quiet. So they know where lead the fight. Why we you respect? You know, the fact that you're talking about canceling a whole tournament, Mohamed Africa Momla play. Imagine a country like the Gambia qualified for the very first time. You have a cancellation or moving it to the summer or to the winter. You have white Jahala. But the most important thing, as a continent, we have to come together and make a very, very, very strong voice. One of the guys, you know what? We are going to play our AFCON. Coming in a place and Euro, I don't know. They have so many cups going on in Europe. You know, and everybody is okay with that. The only tournament we are Mohammed is every 2 years. You know, we expect our FA president to talk. Hamga, let's say Nigerian FA president, South Africa, you know, Kenya, Nigeria. People have to speak out. I even expect the CAF president, you know, Eto is a guy with character, a proud African. So man, his message, man surprise. I saw it coming. He will speak and he will speak strongly.
Yeah.
You might disappoint some stars in different parts of the world. they are still quiet. ñoom Aubameyang xam nga ñoom Sadio Mané ñoom Mohamed Salah ñooñu day waroon a ñëw come forward. Even ñoom Cameroon they have some Ivory Coast they have some top players. ñoom ñoom Eric Bailly. xam nga ñoom Kessie these are household names in world football. I was expecting them to speak out, because no matter what happens, they are Africans, they are Gambians, they are Cameroonians, they are whatever. But the fact that some of them are still quiet, acting in dara xew si man loolu daf ma xaw a jaaxal but the fact of the matter mooy Africans for the Africans, we have to respect ourselves if we want to move forward as a continent suñ bëggee develop. Lii gars yi ñeme ñu ngi ko wax South America ne leen you have to move your Copa America ñeme ñu ngi ko wax. léegi neema gën a wax leen say but that's not it. And so not it means you are okay with it. Man nga ko gisee. But I hope that things will move ahead. New place in AFCON. But the players in your I want to go. I want to go. No matter because it's their right to go and play for their country. It's a CAF calendar. It's a tournament. Nobody can hold them there. Nobody. So they have to show that zeal in them. Now we are going. But still now some of these household names are still quiet about it. So it's kind of embarrassing to me. Some top players they couldn't make noise for the right reasons. Man mom no la say for now.
Yeah, thank you. Coach, so by health, going back, leading them into our country, going into the selection. So by health, almost every team Sunojo has names in 28-man squad. Sunojo has in final squad. Always they've like a press conference. Yo, so just why is Gambia different? Why ñun sun coach bi dafa talk fu ko ne sen listam ñun lu ndé talk rek gëna talk rek just online and name 28-man squad, and that means he doesn't have to face any question. He wouldn't be asked because so by just barkati demba Aliun Cisse mu ngi name squad some, and then he received some tough questions. Understand? And some tough questions. Ghana the same thing. Why is it a different? Why do you think Nasun coach he get away with it?
Yeah, basically limo feel more, limo fuck more. I think the authorities they are just being protective, pour nimuna save the skin of the coach. But these are things that should come with the job. He's a coach, pour nimuna answer to questions. People need to scrutinize limo def because he's been paid by the taxpayers. So gisuma any reason luta mënuñoo follow a professional protocol in adhering to the public call, because journalists has a role to play. They had a job to do, and their job is to make sure that they dig into the facts with the coach, someone named Tima, because some of the journalists you get follow players week in, week out. So basically they will have an opinion. Yes, the coach has a decision to make, which has to be based on merits. But I personally don't feel the authorities gave him a lot of powers. They protecting him. Why are they protecting him? I don't know. Of late, sir, gis nañ ne sax coach bi ñi ko dee interview mooy the media officer of the GFF. So they will be asking questions they want to ask him. They wouldn't be critical in the way other private journalists would do. So to me, it makes good sense. Whoever is behind this has to understand one thing. Could be taxpayers in your coffee. Okay? The askan bi dañ ci am aha. Te askan bi nuñ ci amé aha moy ñoo xamne ñoo nekk seen liggéey pour ñuy laacé. Dañ wara am the rights to ask him pertinent questions regarding the team. Kenn du ko laajte lu tax nga toog Belgium, or mun nañ ko laaj why we need answers. But it seems like they can't deal with the fact that they know I'm pressure from the journalists. And I think the coaching job goes with pressure. Coach Boham Nelamuno handle pressure, the pressure of the general public, and I don't think you'll be fit to be a coach of a national team. Question be more, why are they being protected? Because the Suko Federation will defer a mandate to the coach. Before you can name your team, you have to face the press. It's always been like that. No than them. So why the change of plan all of a sudden? And I think it's something that a question, and we definitely need answers. And right now, it's either the coach or the federation. Why are you not facing the media? Why are you not facing the media? You know, Fongane, Lolulu, question, I'm solo. Why some man? The feel they are just being protective. Why are they being protective? I don't know.
Yeah, thanks. Good. Most. So come lo say like the same question that I like. Yo, law suggest this law for more than you because man understand. Coach Bohamne is being paid. One, they could Gambia. Low rec is in itself is wrong because manama for me wahuma mudeka for 100% there. But at least warna some parts of the month, especially Gambian league bisuneke on warna neka in every league game. Warna neka in every league game, in my opinion. Because league la nek. Number two, yow nga ne nga name sa squad ba pare talk for talk ken gisud la ñun do no talk rek moy ne gis neen Facebook sax len ko gisee. Yo, suggest this silly. Why do you think all these things is happening? Agluta guy waran no ba coach bi lan ban relationship mo warata ñu war ko no ba.
There are so many unanswered questions comme ko sana waxe. Man mënuma understand sa employee buga nek sa boss. Lolu xel nangu ko. Man mala employee, you cannot be my boss. You do what I want. You ñoy fay. There is no member at the GFF who pay from his or her pocket. It's our money. A national team coach, warna nekasi dikay. From Ninko here, not all the time, 100%. He should be here watching our league, seeing how our league is progressing. It's really important for us. Fine. Man coach bisa legi dama stop to blame too much. Because dama feel our authorities lie to blame for giving him such powers. Yow nga dem talk flané di send sa squad bi by I don't know Twitter or whatsoever. Ñun dañ jay jot ñun xam nga la mo gëna funny. The funniest moy ñun dañ jay jot the squad list bala ko kuñ bi di publish. Te dama fogg ne su nekk ne there is any other medium ku wara wax our national team to be the GFF official state website. ñoom ñoo war def loolu waaye ñun dañ dee jot music national team bi well before GFF def a press release suñu waree play test match ñun dañ ko dee xam te gisuñ ko si pegi GFF suñu waree au squad ñun dañ dee am liste bi te GFF defaguñ press release. So there are some problems. Coach B should be in the Gambia. We're talking about then you go for 10,000 euros unconfirmed. You cannot pay somebody that amount of money, around 600K in Gambian dollars. Mu talk Belgium. Coach B has a job in Belgium because he is not doing nothing. He is just sitting there. You test match, you fly, you play, one. Easy job. Very easy job. His job is really easy. Su ñëwee Gambia and for few days delluwaat doo seetaan league ngay all any national team squad buy dem AFCON for the very first time ñëwuloo Gambia def press release journalist yi talk like relevant questions. Why are our authorities always trying to protect the coach? Fan nga gis on earth the FA people ñuy interview coach ñoom rek coach bi dafa choose ñan la ma waxal ak ñu wal su feeling ne yow you are becoming so hard towards him daf la sideline doo ko like and our authorities ñu ko protect coach bi Gambie la waroon a toog mu all list bi ñu invite all the media houses nit ñi like lu tax oiloo kii We need answers. But why? No Gambia. We just saw a presser, and then that's it. Even senior Gambia, sir, I guess somehow they go how protect. You know, so push to the corner, they will intervene. Acting like ñom ñoko defé. Xam nga lolu mo ci gëna sa. Yow ki nga protect koku yow fay loko sa xaliss bopa. Nekut sam binan bo xamne ya ko fay mu la ligél. Ki Gambia la mo ligél. Di fak ne Gambia la mo ligél nak war nañ ko di like from time to time war nañ ko like issue ci nga xamne moy di stop fans yi nga xamne lolu xam nga moy dem around town. But Tom got the best job ever. So holly the time they spend with the Scorpions is very, very little, minimal. And then you get paid that huge amount of money. 10,000 euros is a lot of money all over the world. Wherever you go in the that's a huge lot of money. The coach should be doing more. He should be in the Gambia working hourly. But then, can fee in among us yan clauses no nekk ci contrat yi coach. Nobody in how. So he's a boss. He's enjoying. He's doing whatever he wants. The all players you can the all squad with you can do like. But guess what? You blame our authorities. You could that power. So go ahead, Tom, we're gonna sign you, but these are this and that. You have to be in the country. You have to watch the league. You have to face the media. The by force law. These are minimum requirements for a national team coach. Minimum requirements. You know, and then these same people, you know that one day we are professionals in our work. But when it comes to the coach, he has a special treatment. But when looking at sad, on top of that, there is no Gambian coach currently is under contract. All the Gambian coaches are not under contract. I would Ben Gambian coach on contract, including Matar Mboj. Out of 4 tournaments, he won 2 gold and 2 bronze. Belegi Matar Mboj amut contract. Wahi Babi Mungé ñëwaat ñun dañ fonka tubaab bi lool ñu bañ fi nit ñi. It's coming into play. What else did Matar Mboj have to do to earn a contract? Tell me. 4 tournaments outside the Gambia. 2 goals, he won the host. George Weah put $50,000 on the table, which team will win cup. Gambia 5-1. You know Senegal, our fiercest rival. You do the 5-1 on the group stage. You then beat Dakar with Elas Diouf sitting down with all their ex-players and the minister, you win lane. Still now, mënuñu jox Matar Mboj contract. Tom Digala dafa earn his contract because daf ñu qualify for the very first time in history. I got that. But we should also treat our own coaches back home with respect. But coming back to the coach, you give all the blame to the authorities. Our authorities ñoo ko may doole because ñu ñoo ko fay. Moom fay jiw.
Yeah, mo dama may tuuti rek dafa am lu ma suma flight bi dañ ma text léegi dafa cancel. I need to look for another flight right now. So I'll be on the background. Put my shot out right quick, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So now I guess that's the way it is. Fonka tubaab bi fonkulo don't forget this guy never qualified to AFCON, but this guy won trophies. He won 2 gold medals for Gambia. You know, he's still here. Amut contract. Still now, Matar Mboj amut contract. So why Fonka tubaab is coming into play. You know what a Fonka sun bopa. Senegal, sen tubaab yi we are earning thousands of euros. They brought Aliou Cissé, the final, the semi-final, the World Cup. He is on the verge of going back to World Cup, and he is among the teams you have expect to know. He's a Senegalese. Never a top coach. Aliou Cissé was never a top coach, but they gave him the chance. Algeria could be home based. Most of the best coaches in Africa right now are all home based coaches, but sending they believe in them. I don't mind I'm a foreign coach because we are not racist, but we expect our authorities to respect our homegrown coaches. You buy the fake coaches per game or per engagement. The same thing, Alagisa is facing the same thing. He's paid for on engagement. So the whole problem is Nundang helps in Boba. ñu ngi am a fitness trainer boo xam ne mu ngi jógee South Africa he earns more than Alhaji Sarr a fitness trainer yow da moo bëgg a wax ne Gambia ba mu tey amuñ mënuñoo am a fitness trainer di xool Gambia national team bi ñaar lañ am te kenn du si Gambia so problème bi is ñun ñoo am problème Tom amul problème de Tom is enjoying life alhamdulillah ñun ñoo ko jox all that power pour mu def lu ko neex di all national team te di ñëw Gambia di tweet di divide foot players yi di dem Italie di dafa dem Italie mu dem check benn player mu xam nga how many players do you have in Italy a lot you fly to Italy you only see one or two and you forget about the rest you think you are doing justice to the other players so we have issues yoo xam ne moo ñoo demee but to make matters worse you put the blame to the authorities ñoom ñoo ko doon hey Tom bul ñu fayandoo ñun ñoo la fay and this money we are paying you is Gambian taxpayers money or I don't know FIFA or anyway it's our money doesn't matter fan la jógee the powers with the coach dafa upper is extreme if you ask me it's extreme Ghana you put 4 players in their team Ghana 4 but then all blame is going to the authorities ñoom ñoo bàyyi Tom mu def lu ko neex Tom léegi sax loo ko wax da nga ko toll ñun ñoo ko suñu gars yi ñoo ko jox ñoo ko empower he's empowered to do whatever he likes so let's face it you know.
Yeah, man, I've been sorry to talk to you or whatever, but man, I feel cool, Jimmy boy. Mokore whatever they gonna make because at the end of the day, come no for hell, like you know, helping both. You know, we you listen both, and you have good coaches. You know, more qualifications than coach really. Because coach, we going to sign. Stadium is all sack every 6 months, sack, and you went and signed coach. Yeah, we have coaches. No, they are natural Gambian, like born citizens. No, they're Gambian. Why? We rather have with some old people more game. Come no go hell. You're not going to I matter. I know Alhaji Sarr. Why man blame ma GFF about that? Because if you so neck, so I made that respectable. Because Alhaji Sarr, man, understand. And nakala more naked with the national team. For how many months or years now? Your contract for example, I mean, still talking and stuff. You mean your bomulo law if you understand. And then you will not respect you will not understand. National team and then the other thing is coach we all selection no disrespect la for you. Why we still tolerate it, we still accept it. So what can we do? Coach me more to respect a Gambia. What are you Gambian GSF? You want to new respect in the oh, you have a respect the one. Why you go on and hey, this will be bull war is up. What by the Guayatara? The Lulu would have put GSF, look at that. No, la ML, the father, no. Born and don't know how some of it. You can appreciate you out to talk to you. This is not appreciated. I mean, every single issue that we go with the FF. Then you are unprepared in your new one. While Lulu Musta for how many years? GFF, whatever tables no lending you, Gena, you turn to that. Or you send media. Imagine a coach Mohammed and media, can see media, must call interview or Ama mom face-to-face interview. Only GFF send media for the interview. You're a coach. How many journalists do we have in Gambia? We have more than how many journalists in Gambia? Why can't they access to talk of coach for interview? What for a GSM can you tana could be follow our answer, young journalists our wahal, young TV station our them, yana man about in Gambia because they know I'm anti-GFF because I'm our the fuck. It's not anti-GFF. GFF we know for so they follow back. Then I will talk. Yeah, I'm not TV, Paradise TV, I Africa. You make interview name. I'm not TV station. You have the for it's a no-go area because how many help they bring anti-GFF, so they mamuna buy and they mamuna invite them platform. This is the kind of corruption we have in Gambia. Lu femo nit rek, that's it. Koku buru warisa. Lu wa affaire koku non. So man for one, ma buga dem ci yena TV station pour you interview ma, but it wouldn't happen because you have moy ñom ak GFF ñoo nekk di same. So this is Gambian name. Simbaite no. What a GFF is. Simbaite no. The new son. Okay, when it comes to I'm going to coach, but I want to go all the way back to Kamaso Lundon Habib Kini. Yeah, who couldn't what about this send GoFundMe. Send GoFundMe. How many months ago did you qualify for them AFCON? Obviously, Lolo is late for you. You muna new league, you know, then you book to all this money for muna them to the AFCON. That's why late. Lolo is the bottom line. Lolo that's why late. But for the ñom luñ génné JFF luñ génné to support this AFCON bi ak yooyu you know it man xaw ma naka lañ doon raise fund bi because keroog waxoon naa ko fii nii waajo ñu noonu su fi ñëwoon xaw ma naka Moussa Cissé ma ne ko ne ñun buñ doon dem African Cup biñ doon dem 2005 it was the advert it was everywhere yoo Habib yoo waxoon nañ ko fii keroog nga ne boo demoon Gambia gisuloo any billboard flag sax GFF send liquid flash to put this was the problem. So yen all this hamgaluta move it went bad for us to donate or to raise all this fund. It's because stakeholders here you know the you wara am put the Gambian football. Nyom munyo am any dialogue with the federation since not even African Cup of Nations since la one. And secondly, so we am more donations, so we am no more need pour ñu gëna ñëw dafa fekk ñom GFF doy na nit ñi lu ñoo def fees na boti nit ñi ñu xam ne obviously ñi do doing right lu tax ñom amuñ luñ wara am when it comes to the donation. Number one, lu ñé baña ñëw ñu suñu amé naxar lu ñé baña ñëw di gëna ci di fees li di toga nit ñi di waxtaan di all media press bi ñëw tok. We have a lot of questions. Sanaya Pass, you could remember Wahona Mom Timey, I'm on the age, non age airport issue. Gabon, no Gambia airport, we know, crip, guys, too fast, fine you. Hanga, we paid this, we paid that. Can you clarify everything? After a piece of Ali so people talk about it. Can you code me? Contract we could just 5 years. Can you so it's like there are lots of things you're handling. You know about those stuff, but the federation they never come out. Like I said, they always come out, then they know to take in a table line. What I like is more why everything that is against them, they're never gonna come out. You look at convict, convict Halis Bobuno. COVID money bi naka lañ ko def COVID money naka lañ ko ci team bi can get to clarify. So it's like any bot that comes towards EFF, they're never gonna come to clarify that pursue you wahani ak you legi ñi ngi complain ñu ne coach bi luta mu wara talk Europe mu wara nekk filmé di call suñu national team bi te ñëw bi tamit the same thing can lu gëna ci wax about. So all these issues that they tax nit ñi xam nga rek luñ wara defar pour suñu Gambia football bi ci sawar parce que dañu xam ne ñi respect gu nit ñi. So yéen léegi soo leen soxlee nit ñi léegi fu mu nekk nii gars yi ñu ngi soxla nit ñi parce que ñu soxla this donation léegi ñu téye seen boppa. You think people are mad or people are stupid? People are not stupid because we know. So understand? But when I come, there is one thing. You federation, you want to support affair GoFundMe. But most of them, 90% or 3/4 of them, you're busy with this politics. You're busy with the campaign. You're busy with doing this politics. You know what I mean? So long one then, you not fit for that office because at the end of the day, you football again war a jita. Why this is all politics bi bu ñëwé ak affaire campaign bi bu ñëwé politics bi win. So now they want to rush because it's next month January. Yéna ngi bëgg rush pour am lolen pour am halis bo len bëgga. It's not going to be possible because it's already late. So let's see, xam nga rek da ngeen try to be honest. Ngeen génn ngeen waxa public bi ngeen génn ngeen a waxa nit ñi xam nga nit ñi luñ la teg public bi luñ la teg ngeen génn si di ko explain xam nga luñ boy ngeen clear everything boy fii loolu la ñun loolu lañ xam ba pare everywhere si àdduna bi loolu lañ xam da ngeen a toog Facebook toog suñ concerning about a player journalist interview la yo what is your problem with this kan ngeen ko clear nit ñi mun a passé loolu noonu mbiri Ali Sow bi mu ngi ak ba léegi mënuñoo kenn mënuñoo waacee kenn mënuñoo expliqué understand nga fu ma waxee ni mbiri ñoom Steve bi buñ actionné woon si national team Steve Hamza Solma ak Canada about 4-5 of them lads dem bàyyoon national team bi nangu ne ñëw xeex boobu noonu ñoom sana yëpp a fa bokkoon boy ñun senior players yi boy legends yi ñoom dudu everybody pour call ndoo yi boy pour ñu mën a ñëwaat back to the national team ñu def loolu noonu ba ndoo yi ñëwaat ba pare Habiba ngi woon benn very important thing si coach bi dafa war a bàyyi di nekk hypocrite in between these players yow you went to Italy you went to Omar Colley kese la dem seeti how many players do you have in Italy nga dem seeti Omar Colley kese nga bàyyi di all the rest of these players so yow yaa ngi indi yaa ngi divide team into pieces da nga ko divide man and loolu la fa demee man I know ne coach bi dafa am ay group of the team so loolu is bad pour public yi sax xam ko is bad team bi sax pour gars yi feel ne coach bi dafa am favorite player dafa am yu moo seeti loolu dem seeti ay player de seen kira yooyu noonu player soo ko dem seeti demal maajam jëlal ticket jëlal ticket nga dem seeti nga xool maaja nga xool nu mu play that's why you loolu mooy war nga war a dem Europe the rest of the time you should be home nga seetaan suñu ligue bi nga respect yu tuuti understand waaye national team ñun Gambia musu ñoo am national team boo xam ne amul a home base national musu ñoo am iya boo xam ne amul home base national team ñun we always have home base national team waaye ñi ñëw nañ rek change loolu yëpp so léegi ñun suñu future national team bi fan la moo jógee ak kañ ñan ñooy nekk suñu future national team player boy ñun Gambia we have long way to go boy ñun dañ foog ne dañ qualify African Cup of Nations rek African Cup of Nations dañoo dem one month ñu ñëwaat after lan mooy happen lu bari is going wrong duñ ko xam léegi ba African Cup of Nations bi jeex because fu nekk ñëpp a ngi concentré African Cup of Nations waaye after that we got a lot of things yoo xam ne like it's not okay so affaire coach bi comme Habib lu mu ko waxee la coach bi ñun ñoo ko won ne nii la so coach bi fii ñu moom coach bi yàpp because ñu ñoo tax loolu waaye su wanee coach bi ne listen Gambia moo la sign European yi kenn sign la ñu ñoo la sign Belgium sign la Gambia la sign moo na ñu Gambia am office am everything comme Paul Foot lu mu daan def dafa am own moto bu own kiram own everything boy you get me so ñun coach bi nii daf ñuy yàpp mooy loolu mooy bottom line bi boy xam ba pare man booy buñ qualifié ba pare ba tey man dama tegoon ne at least dinañ am 1 or 2 games boo xam ne ndoo yëpp a ngi taw let them have a game let's xam nga rek fancy let them see the flag let them say goodbye ndoo yaa ngi fly ëllëg ak tomorrow but the fans dañ xam dara fans yi mënu ñoo dem pour wax xam nga jox leen courage jox leen yooyu dafa important boy daf leen a boost seen confidence ak yooyu noonu boy mu go high you understand why all those things they're not happening so you yàlla ne boy adi abo sada boy seen yamal naka tara game bi la ko ka laak la all the time we got lot of things that you know every time like foog nga am looy wax ci ñi boy foog nga am looy stress foog nga am looy boy if everything is going fine ñun dañoo ñëw fii ne ñu ne DFF no tey moom def nañ boy everything is cool everything this is that nii lañ ko war a defee def nañ ko loolu waaye low expect every time low expect ne noonu lañ ko war a defee duñ ko musa defee noonu neneen ne ko defee their own ways ñoom luñ ko bëggee ñu am noonu lañ ko defee that's it simple you know dimension bi suñ ko bëggee li fit yéen a 4 wheel bee waati boy lañ jaay seen 4 wheel boy 4 wheel bu nekk 1.5 so about 5-6 4 wheel loolu 6-7 million la yàlla fa soo kam boy ndoo kee taa peru jana boy African Cup of Nations you get me man foog naa loolu moo gën balañ faa nekk di jënd ay moto ku nekk di jënd moto ku nekk di nañ jaay seen moto yi ñu yokk ko si lifin bi baaxi taden si GoFund bi and then it's something else loolu tamit foo fana mën na faala foo ne yeah loolu amoon pour wax boy
Thank you, Baba. So, coach, xam naa ne léegi bëgguma leen a téye long and yàgg nañ a toog ñu dugga si affaire si léegi mooy 28-man squad bi. Gis nga list bi obviously. What are your thoughts? Because complain yi nit yaa ngi criticize at ne xëj na team bi ñu bari am na ñu si amu team ñi nekkul di play regularly te yow you should know as a coach ne player bo amul game time, there is a difference between fitness and match fit. So player bu dul play nag I wonder naka la match fitness di mun a amee foofu ba pare in case worst case scenario ñu war a dem si tournament bi ay injury start di am, what is going to happen because player boo xam ne play with for long time xam nga mu war a am game time is gonna be a struggle. So yow sa gis-gis si the whole situation 28-man bi ak player yoo xam ne yeah.
Wow, jërëjëf Mourou. I think is it surprising to mu gis ne mu or some of the players in the 28-man squad? To me, no. I'm not very surprised because there is a lot of inconsistency in terms of his team selection. That's one thing. I'm really surprised with the inclusion of certain players at this 11th hour, simply because of people have been crying out. Ne player X, Y, and Z, nekun si team B. People like me, I have always said, the national team is for the best players. It's for players that are competing week in, week out. It's nothing to talk about. But the same coach B has ignored all those protocols. He was selecting players that were not having clubs until he qualifies. My problem is, don't punish players based on sentiments. You know, that's the likes of Toldo Timber, obviously. But I came to realize it was just more than that. There is a lot of things in play, you know, regarding administrative and stuff. I have advocated he should call those players to bring in unity. But the worst thing of all is since he stopped calling these players, the squad was disintegrated. And we understand there was an unrest with certain players simply because they feel disappointed that Munge punished 3 players because of the decision the whole team has made. All said and done, we ignore them, but up to the final day promo or 23-man squad. Timber is not playing actively for close to a year. Nda is playing in the lower league. And most of our players that are selected in this team, Supase Musa Baro, Supase Omar Koli, you know, and few other players. They play week in, week out. So obviously, you want to bring in players, get them to competition, it's a high-profile competition. You don't have players that are definitely having the game time in their respective club. What would we expect? We would expect if the intensity of the tournament eventually goes higher and quicker, we will definitely struggle in the second half of every game. I wouldn't do not surprise if the Gambian team struggles in the second half of every game. But it all depends on the strategy and what are the tactical approach that could be the job. We all know he's somebody who is very, very defensive. But if you go back to records, for the past 3 games we Gambia play, we've been doing very badly in terms of conceding goals. And maybe Lulumoko prompt or these players, senior players, they've been there, Amunion club, but they still Nyungfa and they were doing well. But team will qualify. But if you look at it at a technical point of view, at a coaching point of view, it's you will shake your head to say, I don't know what he's doing. Okay, because he's leaving players out that are doing extremely well. I don't understand how on earth would you leave Moro behind for any of those players that are playing in the middle. There is nobody in that team that is more creative than Moro. You left him out for no reason. All you said is you think you have other plans for him. You have other plans because you have better players in there. Yes, I have to respect his opinion, but I don't think it's realistic. That is a realistic analysis of Moro. Leaving Ali out, we all know Ali wouldn't make his team because he has his personal issues with Ali. You know, and I think that's something Lohan he has to revisit it. National team is for Gambians. And if you did enough to be called in the national team, let's put our sentiments on the sides and focus on the team. But all said and done, from a coaching point of view, I think he just did what he wants to do. I will respect it. Now, like I said last week, this past week, we all have to put our positive energy to the team. You know, he's called players. You know, they have not been called. The squad is divided. I will still call on those senior players to come together and bring the team together. Can they do it? Yes, they can do it. They have the capacity to do it. And now all we needed is to bring the team together and play as a team. Maybe soon putting our differences on the side, that will help the team in terms of team spirit. But as of now, it's something that we will see what's going to happen against Algeria game. What is going to be the approach and how disciplined the players are on the pitch? Because actually, we needed to have a tactical disciplined team when we play with any opponent prior to this AFCON. If not, we are going to suffer. Yes, we are happy that we are going to the AFCON as an underdog, but we need to go to the AFCON as the underdog in the right way. Okay, that is, we are going to prove a point on the pitch. But Somalaje, if I take reference from the past 3 games, are we ready? I would definitely just say what I have seen in the preparatory period, we are not.
Thank you, Coach. Mos, you suggest this team B, because last time when we spoke, you did spoke about having Da and Buba Sane as experience, but it seems he's added Ibrahim Sohna, he's added lots of them there, and the others that we expected. But the suggestion you gave me actually, Moine, at least at least 20 something players ñoo xam ne ñu ngi play active we added to the other 5 ñoo xam ne am nañ experience te loolu man I agree on that because da nga need experience boobu even soon play with to be just the leaders then that is a very very good example to that wante nag moom dafa dem def extreme dafa dem dugal ñoo bari ñoo xam ne either nekkuñ di play regularly ak ñoo xam ne amoon club. Going into these tournaments, you see how Mali plays. It's a very, very decent team. I'm saying midfielder, they are all top midfielders. I'm gonna look at Tunisia. That's another level to me. Mauritania, Gambians, argue we have a chance. But Lulu, they just wouldn't fight in a league in a tournament. So they are playing actively. So how do you see things panning out? Not nga say things. Team B.
Basically, man, lu ma waxoon lay wax ñun dafa am ku nekk dafa am di nga believe ne is the right thing to do mooy national team dafa utee club football. The best players in that country should be playing for the national team. ñun loolu lañ gëm man loolu laa gëm te loolu mos a ceeñ. The fact ne dafa am lu xew with our national team mooy experienced players yi nga xam ne ñoo nekkoon ci team bi ñoo guide team bi ba team bi qualify dañ dem ba to the tail end of the story ñoom ñu am ay texa mooy ñii gaañu ñii amul club te ñooñu yëpp dañ play very pivotal role ci suñu qualifiers so loolu xam ne team bi start di play without them and ñëpp gis nañ the results we are not forthcoming and then you start to receive information the spirit in the camp dafa diminish suñ ñëwee pour suñu añee de ñi kii dafa aw left kii aw right te those at the camp ñu ñoo wane before all these top players nekkoon these senior players su gars yi lekkee either day wala or whatsoever they just stay together waxtaan xam nga which is very important in a team so the fact that ñooñu nekkoon fa ñu gis ne loolu mu ngi happen 4 dafa aw nii 5 aw nii and anytime squad bi dem camp man dama dee bàyyi xel bu baax seen actions dëgg la dama dee wax ak dem but dama dee gis ne yaa ngi 5-6 players they will go out for a dinner yaa ma dégg beneen groupe awli man then you could easily see that these people are divided because 4 dafa aw nii 5 aw nii 7 aw te before ñu laa wan ne dañ stay together so bu loolu amee si lañ xalaat ne kon I think this great players nga xam ne ñoo gaay AFCON should come to the team but in my own opinion man I was saying nga xam ne amuñ club or whatsoever should come to the team in a different capacity bu ñoo ñëwee mooy to bring the spirit back which is number 1 to advise the brothers to be within them to encourage them then could be munna or players in a they got the legs, they've been playing, they're young. So in the union, for example, 23-man squad Mohammed, they are all actively playing. Those so in the I'm because 23 players are such a hand and don't you see AFCON. Most likely teams evening any AFCON or tournament whatever, I'm not your hand they play. The only chance who be able to play was in the win 2 first matches and then have the third match going forward already qualified that so they have support. But most of the time, you get these 4 players you have or 5 you have then them tournament to play. So mainly, compared 28 players are going to the AFCON. 23 solid players, no have they got the legs, they play, they have to be selected. Veterans you have the experienced players you have without them would have been hard to be qualified. Then time told the AFCON club. When I was saying this, told the AFCON club, but Sweden told the AFCON club to start the play. So I changed my mind on Toldo. That Toldo should be in the 23 because he's back playing. And then the other 2 goals was 10 minutes. I won't shy away of saying that they are winning. So for man, Toldo should be back position number 1 because he's back playing. So when you play, you can go in a different capacity. They can even train with the team, encourage the team, push no way. Okay, a player can come with experience and then the last 25 minutes or 15 minutes to play. By so much capacity, man, what I was crying about more, we need these experienced players to guide the team. Not to know, not just to come he is playing active football week in, week out, man lo nango mo. You they play. I'm a club. Kia they play week in, week out. They perform. You're is madness to me. But we need leaders in the team. The guy makes Pamodu Jan is a leader. He's a straight shooter. He's not scared to tell the truth. We need people of that nature in the team. So we are all crying out loud that they have to be there. Together, most people then forward and that is not playing. He is playing, he just played in the lower league, but he's playing. He's playing. I believe Gambia, I'm not chance to call players based on merits, but the coach think otherwise. Slip Sian is a regular at his club. He plays full-time football. He's a defender. Moro Adamani is a regular. Oinko. Alisson is a regular. Oinko. So even young Fadera in Belgium, they are young. Coach Oinko. So could be more than not that kind of players. We got players playing week in, week out, but more choose put on your hand. What I understand the power of this coach. So at the end of the day, lii xew na ba pare waaye man nu ma amee woon confidence going forward for this AFCON at now dafa change léegi I really lowered my expectation. I lowered them to the lowest of low. The only positive thing of this AFCON mooy nobody will ever say that Gambia must not qualify AFCON. We have broken that jinx. Kenn du ko waxaat man loolu mooy sama biggest joy ne Gambia qualified léegi kenn du waxaat ne like our neighbors will tell us mais est-ce que sa Gambia mos naa qualifier Coupe d'Afrique loolu duñ ko waxaat. They will never say it again. So loolu is something of the past. Man loolu moo ma ne no matter what happened in the AFCON, because I'm not expecting much in the AFCON, no matter what happened, we've got a young squad going forward. Going forward, Gambia what now play against Ghana, Nigeria, and giving them problems. But we have the players now. The after the AFCON, most of these old players will retire from national team. So we'll be having some fresh young blood players on hand. They are here for the future, like Nyom Sinya, Nyom Moro. But with this coach, Tom, at the helm of our football, I don't think there'll be much changes because he believes in a kind of play what is sort of the past. Even Jose Mourinho, go say decline, we coach Roma. It's about his tactics. Tactics, more football. So when you play expansive football, are all still at the top. Pep Guardiola's, Jurgen Klopp's, all these coach you play expansive football, no Ancelotti, they are still at the top. With Tom, and I would change. I'm not change because nobody change. But after the AFCON, Gomna Gambia, I'm not squad Mohammed. They are young, very, very young and talented. So it's up to him to do that. And the Gomna, if they may AFCON with humility, he should be held responsible. Because we have young Gambian coaches with better CVs and better license than him. I think they had the chance, they could do a better job. Going to AFCON, for humiliating, it's his fault for leaving out very good young players for fringe players. Momo the decision. So success is all his because Momo picked him. If things go the other way, he should be held responsible. So I would have loved to know Landmore Neka in his contract clauses by unfortunately in Hamilton. But man, I lowered my expectation going to this AFCON at the lowest of low. I'm not expecting anything much. But no matter stop 1 inch from supporting Gambia. We will always support Gambia. We will support Gambia. Man, I start paint myself to the phone of money. Even my friends tell me, buy Gambia. No, we will always support. Always, no change. Regardless of the code. By code, he has a lot of things to do. Put in the Gambia on top of the game. So we shall see. AFCON is here. Like I always said, we are wishing the coach good luck because wishing the coach bad luck, it means you are a bad citizen because you are wishing Gambia bad. Because right now he is the driver of the ship, he's the captain of the ship. If you wish him bad because you want to be vindicated, no, man, I'm not in that group. I want the coach to succeed at the AFCON, because to succeed, Gambia might succeed. But with his man management skill and his way of coaching, there are more questions and answers towards this coach. So let's see Lanmoy Hill after the AFCON. And Lanmoy Hill against Algeria, because I learned that we played Algeria. Let's speak volume about our current standing going forward.
Yeah. No, thank you. Baba, wrap up I have to go. But so Ajube ite timoning
first of all, timoning coming Nulube after Yamina. The only disappointment I got is like Habib Sanemi. If you got players that are playing, put them in the team. Whatever important because they are a competition all And African Cup of Nations is different from all these qualified rounds and stuff. And but we got big teams, Mali is a big team already. And if we are going to have Mali, okay, you bring in players that are even playing lower leagues and that are even, they don't even play games. Okay. Myself personally, I was crying for Nda and Toldo and Buba to come because they are senior players. Yeah. But Nda I expect maybe Toldo, yes, he's a player, but Nani Buba, they were not playing properly. Like, you know what I mean? You understand? So, Ntemi Miranunko, Ndawolu, Toldowolu, all these big senior players, he could have talked with the effort. Even Sona will be a boy. They could have been into the with the national team just to support this kid, Courage dealer. Because let me tell you one thing. After this African Cup of Nations, Janin Turban next qualifying round for next Qatar to qualify to African Cup of Nations again. This team that we got, you have more than 6 to 7 players, proper 7 players, they're all big players, age-wise. Musa Baro, no, not Musa Baro, Modu Baro, Nda, Toldo, Sona, that tall guy from Sweden, Sanamako Bodo, Sweden, Mohamed Bay. Yeah, Mohamed Bay, Daudangom. It's almost about 7, 8 players, long boy, age-wise, one age, at a table when it comes to next 2 years or 3 years time for the African Cup of Nations play. Okay, so if you look at will drop, Alonko, Wali Fofana, Alasana, Mane, Wondo Keruo, even that young lad that went to Portugal just recently, yeah, he's a good lad. So you have more than 7, 6 young lads, Alonko, yeah, they drop. No, Alisson maybe yes, you can say for Alisson Fanan maybe in 3, 4 years age. But these kids are young lads. This is our future. So if you consider you only put players that many alonko in age-wise, put a team of staff in the next 2 years. Taudangom is playing in Norwegian League or Tennis League for how many years, boy? Don't have a market no to another team. I'm not a market no to even the Premiership in Tennis League or whatsoever. You still bring that guy there. One more man, he's in Sweden. For how many years about Sweden before? Super Etan, Allsvenskan, Super Etan, Allsvenskan. This league, more play. You know how that league is. Boy, it will funk man league level. Or we just football until unless even Allsvenskan. You get me? So if you have players that are playing, you have some small lads that are playing better leagues that are having competition. Pick those lads, man. Bring those lads in. Because at the end of the day, we're not competition. But excuse me, you drop all these young stuff. Yeah, it's a condition on that in future to back again into our team. Now, Toldo, on Sona, down on government. It's just a jolly jam. Talk with them, tell them that these senior players, I want to bring them, but I want them to be behind this team. So, what space for you? You don't hear what I fit in there. Because we don't hear what near fit in the African Cup of Nations. What are they in our market? We have players into Milan give a big legal player. No. You understand? Then we have players Milan give a big legal player. Because if you take these young lads to AFCON, yeah, with these senior players, Milan give a big you blend them. Even Omar Koli, he's been playing long. Omar Koli age of sign. Yeah, in 2 years. About contract, about to give a player contract 19, 18, 19, 20. Subare everybody 21. So for Ame, Punga am teams that are very difficult. 21 lala wade. So for Ame, so Punga am teams that are very difficult. So you should Ame Halloween you know. Don't know what a damn boy you Google lens in national team. Why could be over them all player you have down on the father Muneka bench one. So na the father Muneka bench one. Dupli. Okay, one man by Mobuno bench woman. Dupli. So you have about 6, 7 players you have in a month or number 4 years and you let me get 2 minutes are doing complete. You're a player, you know. Don't even do you know you have. So senior players, one FF, these people have to come with enough money. Let them go, let them be there. Because yes, I didn't told you I didn't told you before. So you're not gonna take legends like Ibusilla, like Idrissa Sonko to support these kids. You're not gonna take us. But take the likes of Ndawolu, Sonawolu, you know, some of the players, some of the players, some of all these qualifications, all these games they've been having. He must not use. They haven't used him. They played more than 3-4 games. He haven't played any game. Down and go the same thing. Mohammed made the same thing. You understand? So why taking players in your hand? You're not going to use them. You're not going to play them. And you left these kids, Alonko, these kids are our future. And you left all these kids behind. So now if we leave these kids back to come and represent us, I'm stressful because this is a big thing for them to market themselves so that you know we can market, because at the end of the day, until marketing day, you Gambia should check. So marketing I Norwegian, I Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Italy. You know, we're not going further, we're not going big. Gambia, we never go big, boy. Don't what are big. More record them big. Premiership bilini, 1 minute, then you China. And you know, in next 2 years or next African coordination is not going to be available because check. So lots of players check their age and check if they're going to be there in next 2 years. No, they're not. But the kids that are going to be there, you drop all those kids. That Alasana Mane, you know, Bambala and Dokerungo boy, you know, those kids, they're very good players. Encourage. Even if you're not going to play them, take them there. Come even make a senior player, the senior players that you're not going to use, you got to take them and then put them on the bench. Yeah? So do the same with these young lads. Take them there and then put them on the bench, even though if you're not going to use them, mate. It doesn't matter. Let them just go to the tournament and then he's going to encourage them. He's going to give them boost, man. But you put them away, it ain't looking all a spirit better far boy. So that's why they, you know, because I mean, a national team selection is always, it's never fair. But there are certain things that you can do, and then people will still complain. Still, even our mobile selection, you can't satisfy everybody. But until we know, man, Aksana, anybody see, hamne over 7 to 8 players, you correct your hamne in next 2 years, you put the team problem. Timba is there. Timba is not even, maybe, I don't know, Malafika age of, yeah? But really, he's still struggling to get a team. Why? Because he made an age in the boy. I'm not going to care about one local game, but the thing is, you play the start. Omar Koligibe, since when I football play, coming under 20 and in the play. You should understand. So, one day, he came in one age in school. Like I said, this kid that went to think of a play and diamond boy, I told you, use for play and diamond for Portugal. That young lad that went there just recently, he's a good lad. Put them in the team. So if you take care of extra, you fail, you ticket, you around the team, you support team, boy. You told him, why are you about 6-7 players, man, all man, 60 or 7 euro. Why all man, there is proper 5 good players you have do lal ball to AFCON. Talk, then you talk bench like do lal. So you can do that with them kids. So man, that's the only thing. But other than that, you know, it's fine. The rest is okay. You know what I mean? Because a selection is never fair anyway. You know, but with this coach, we have had a big mistake by dropping all those young stars. Hamna. Now you will you Kotoy Hamne wow. Man Sismabo, Madam Basman. Yumda, man, you give them. But let them go and give. Because Na is playing in a 5th division team in Switzerland. Okay? So like you also take any coach because man have coach because I'm not why you say you're born down that is playing 5th division. You play your Hamne, they are active, they are more than Hamgari, you play in the top league. You get at clubs your Hamne, when you start your money and you play premiership, you know, one man is simple, your connect. Why anytime we can you know that player Hamne, you play in you know, big leagues. You're young, you will play your Hamne, then you play in lower leagues. It's not going to help us. You know them, you are Yaha Halis. Talon. So yeah, but anyway, good luck to them lads, you know what I mean? You know, yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, okay. Guys, I'm not then call Coach Finney unceremoniously because Yagan na talk, and by the looks of it, Coach Munginero Sakusona. But I will get you on board another time. Bohamene is just gonna be basically just based on the footballing side. Then we would have more time to talk. One day, thank you very much. Appreciate Nako Trop most coach. Appreciate Nas and President Trop. And then we speak another time.
Jërëjëf Modou. Thank you.
Oh.
Boy, I better go back.
Okay, no worries, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you. Madam.